Why, hello there everyone. I'm the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, konbanwa, good afternoon or good evening. And today I'm just live streaming, just pretty much just chilling today. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, I'm streaming a little bit early today because this live stream is going to be a bit short because I want to practice doing some things after this live stream. So yeah, it's nice to see everybody. And it's fine, Marco. There's always a next time. I'm not really pressuring anybody to watch my live streams. So if you decide to go, or if you have to go, I don't really hold any grudges or anything. So really, to each their own. Just put it that way. We all have our own personal lives. So I really don't force anybody to do anything. But hello there, John. Hope everything's going well. And hey, Marco. But without further ado, everybody, I've been watching anime, and oh boy, it's to be expected. What I'm talking about is Mushoku Tensei, and man, Paul. F's in the chat for that guy, but that was an amazing episode. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of spoiled myself, so I already knew what was going to happen, so I really... I expected it. Look, I expected Paul to go out like a boss, but... man, does the anime hits you differently, I'll tell you. It's pretty amazing. I haven't been reading stuff except for One Piece, which is kind of disappointing, but I just don't have time to be reading. And what happened with Black Clover? They released one chapter and then like they just stopped releasing. Like, well, what happened here? I thought it would start in 3 hours. Oh no, not in 3 hours. Definitely not, Marco. But it's crazy. It's just crazy to see the state of anime right now in manga because there's just so much stuff happening. It's just beyond me. Can you believe that? Like, it's been such a while, like a long while since I posted anything anime related. But my goodness, I've been keeping up. I have a Twitter. I've been seeing posts. I've been reading, if I can. Well, I lied. I haven't been reading, but I've been watching anime, and I have been keeping up with the news. I don't really want to talk about any bad news per se, especially the passing, such as the executive producer for JoJo. He actually passed away some time back, last week actually, and I didn't really want to post anything about that because, honestly, I didn't want to seem like I'm doing it for views, like posting bad stuff, bad news for views. So I really just ignored it for the most part. So I hope everyone understands that. Like, I really try to avoid not so great information. But man, that Mushoku Tensei episode though has been crazy. And also, it's kind of funny to say this, but it seems like Demon Slayer. Nobody. It's surprising how people are. Yes. Off Monster Monogatari. I've seen it, but see, it's surprising how I forgot the creator's name of Monogatari. It's crazy how they can drag, like, I love Monogatari, don't get me wrong, but my god, is it like is it really necessary though? Like is it really necessary? Because like there's so, like, at this point when it comes to the Monogatari series, there is literally so much of it to where, like, oh wow, my hair's a wreck. That doesn't look too good. Like, it's literally at a point where, like, not... like, you really can't keep up. Like, I think... what point... I think it was where ORD Monogatari, that's when it starts getting kind of confusing. But yes, I did see the new trailer for the new Monogatari series. And man, I can't believe Studio Shaft, like... For those who don't know, Monogatari has been around forever. Like, over a decade at this point. Like, it's been around for a long while. And I'm surprised there are like a million more stories to tell. Which is like the craziest thing. I know a lot of people, 14 seasons so far. And the best part about it is that all the events are usually out of place. And that's the I don't want to say the charm of it, but that's kind of the unique thing about Monogatari, is that events don't happen in chronological order. Like, events just kind of, like, the anime for Monogatari, the way Studio Shaft does it, for those who don't watch Monogatari's anime, is that they literally just make the anime, and then it's up to you as the viewer who's watching Monogatari is to kind of figure out when this or that takes place. And the universe of Monogatari is crazy big. It's it's just so funny if you think about it, man. Monogatari. Let's see Studio Shaft real quick. I'm just gonna search it up for a quick second. Hey, hold up. Monogatari Studio Shaft. I'm pretty certain it's Studio Shaft. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go on their wiki for a second. Sorry, guys. My anime list. Bingo, that's what I'm looking for. Hold up. There we go. Monogatari by Studio Shaft. I swear, Studio Shaft is amazing. Animation is great, story is great, and you have harem. I'm not the biggest fan of harems, if I'm being completely honest here, but I see the appeal. It would be nice if you can make a list on what order we should watch. I am not the... Okay, I'm going to be honest. In my personal opinion, when it comes to Monogatari series, like the Monogatari series of Araragi and his whole journey, excluding the side stories and the side character anime seasons, I really do think that you should just watch Monogatari in the release order of Studio Shaft. So Bakemonogatari, and then whatever they release in that order. Because it makes the story more enticing, and also it forces you as the viewer to piece together the puzzle. I feel like if you watch it in chronological order, like in what order came first, the story kind of spoils itself and it doesn't make it fun. Like, you could start with Kizu Monogatari, which is technically the first arc or the first part of the Monogatari series, but by doing so, you kind of ruin yourself of Araragi's origins, and also Shinobu as well. But that's just me, though. I don't really have, like, you feel free to watch it however you want to watch it. Like, but honestly, though, I really recommend starting with Bakemonogatari, and then just watch it in release order that Studio Shaft creates it. Because then it makes it more appealing in terms of, like, the mystery behind it. Because you got to remember, the creator of the Monogatari series, I forgot what's his name, he got inspired from Boogie Pop. And Boogie Pop had the exact same structure when it came to his storytelling. Of, like, the events in the stories in itself doesn't happen in order, and it's up to the reader to kind of piece it together. Because you have to, because look, I'm trying to wrap this in my head because it's so much information. You can see me just bubbling. I'm bubbling with excitement here because, look, I'm the power.
The power in these hands are shaking.
But to put it into simple perspective, Boogie Pop, Monogatari are very similar because it's supernatural, but it also has a mystery element to it. And I think that's the wonder about it. That's the beauty, the charm. But I'm not going to tell you what order to watch it because the fans will fight me. But I'm not the person I'm not the person to go to when it comes to Monogatari, because man, I can go on days. Like for example, if you like, there is a fan base for every character in Monogatari. So if you say you dislike one character, everybody comes at you, like that whole fan base for that fandom. Like, oh my god, it's crazy. I think the most craziest fandom I've ever came across when it came to Monogatari was back in 2014 when you had the Araragi and the Shinobu shippers. No, not Shinobu, my bad. Hachikuji, that's what it is. There were so many fans that were wanting Hachikuji and Araragi for some reason to be together. I was like, are you serious? And then the whole fan base was just coming at me. It was, man, those are some crazy days back in 2014. The internet was still crazy back then. It's not as crazy now, but it's still boiling water. I can go on days of, oh man, the anime on the internet back then was the Wild West. I promise you, that's what it was. Like, I remember 2012, I was watching Hack, and I click on like watch the next episode. I click on watch the next episode, and it literally took me to a random page, and it played Black Bible. Like, whoa, 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 whoa! Like, man, it was crazy back then. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of stopped watching sub back then for a little bit, because like a bunch of the sub animes like online back then were like either fan subs or every time you click on the website it leads you to a random page that was not safe for work. It was just crazy back then. So technically what I would do is you just watch the anime raw in Japanese, because like you were just so fed up of like people trying people just trying to play you. But I remember Monogatari though, when the anime came out. I'm not gonna lie, if the OST's fire too, definitely. The OST for Monogatari is amazing. But I feel like a lot of people need to understand though, Monogatari back then, when the anime released to the West, so in Europe, Canada, North America, United States, etc., Monogatari was not as popular. It was only popular in Japan, and let me explain why. When Bakemonogatari came out, there was no rhyme or reason or explanation as to what was going on. The only thing, you were just thrown into the story of Monogatari, of the Monogatari series. You were just thrown into this universe. And a lot of people were like, what is going on? Like, why is there a girl who's light as a feather? I mean, and who's Araragi? Like, there was literally no character exposition. But that's how Studio Shaft made Bakemonogatari and the Monogatari series. So it was just so confusing. Even I remember how confusing it was. Like what the hell is going on? So I was like, Ohayo, what's the story about? And then people were like, you have to read the light novel. And at this time, the light novel was not translated at all, I believe. I think only one volume was translated in English. So you had to read it in Japanese. It was frustrating too, because I'm not trying to be... See, the thing is this. Light novels, when you read it in Japanese, usually is not the most complex kanji you'll ever see in your life. And then you read Monogatari, and then you question your kanji, because, oh my god, at times, I'm not gonna lie, the kanji they use is so misread. Because, are you supposed to read it as the kunyomi form or onyomi form? At times, I just couldn't tell, so I was like, screw this. I'm just gonna read a romanji. And then just trying to make the most out of it. Does all the anime come from the light novel? Yes. All of Monogatari, even the anime, came from the light novel. The light novel is the original source. Now, granted, there's a lot of spin-off light novels now. The creator of Monogatari, he wrote a lot of stuff. But really, canonically, if you want to just include the main events of Araragi's story, it ends with Kizu Monogatari. And then he'd written Owari Monogatari after, I believe. And then everything else. But technically, Kizu Monogatari is basically the last of Araragi's story, quote unquote, but it's also the beginning of Monogatari. So basically, when he written Monogatari, he wanted to save Araragi's story for the very end, like his quote unquote beginnings of when he met Shinobu. So that's why when Studio Shaft decided to make Kizu Monogatari into an anime, they put it into a 2-part movie, I believe. So it's not an anime season for Kizu Monogatari. It's only a movie. I think it was 2 parts actually. I think, but don't quote me on that. It was a movie though. And basically, the movie was like the grand opening and the grand finale of Araragi's backstory. And I'm really glad they did the movie justice. The movie's amazing. It's criminal how forgotten it has been. Like, man, nobody talks about Kizu Monogatari now, but Araragi is still an amazing character though. But hey, that's just me though, man. But Studio Shaft though, they did an amazing job. It's sad that Studio Shaft they're really great at building atmosphere, but my god, a lot of their animes are hit or miss. Even Mushroom is making a new anime of a game that's coming out. From my understanding, it was announced on the Switch. I saw it on the Nintendo Direct, but it's not an anime. It's he's making a manga, not an anime from my understanding, but I could interpret that wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's making a new manga, not anime, from that game. I did see it, but I'm not gonna lie, the game doesn't really interest me because number one, it's on the Switch. Don't get me wrong, I have a Switch right here beside me, but I personally, RPGs is hit or miss for me. I don't like RPGs like that, and it's not because RPGs are bad. I actually like RPGs, but only a few of them hit. A lot of them are kind of like your generic trope of like, he's the chosen hero, like the hero of light or something like that, and it's just not for me. I like RPGs that have like very interesting stories. So this is why, like, when it comes to a lot of the Tales series, like, very few of them are good. Like, Tales of Vesperia is pretty good. People like Tales of Berseria. But every other Tales game, such as Tales of Xillia. Tales of Xillia, in my opinion, is underrated, by the way, for, like, what it is. But, just saying, Tales of Xillia 2, take it or leave it, to be honest. But you understand where I'm coming from, though. There's a lot of RPGs nowadays that are just forgotten. And I don't have anything against Mashima making a manga out of, like, out of a game, quote-unquote, that they announced. I think it is interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very intrigued because it's me you're talking about. When it comes to anime news, anything that is anime news, I get intrigued. I dive head first, and I will read an entire dictionary just to get all the information out of it. That's just the way I am, because I'm an anime historian at this point. But just saying it, look, if it ends up being a generic RPG, I'm not surprised. If it ends up being a masterpiece, I'm not surprised. Like, I'll just take it for what it is at this point. But that's just, I'm not one to judge, though. But back to what I'm saying, though. Where was that at before the Hero Mashima? Studio Shaft. So, allow me to explain about Studio Shaft real quick, because people kind of, this anime studio here, guys, for those who are not familiar with animes at all, this anime studio is the most interesting anime studio out there. One of the more interesting ones. So allow me to explain how Studio Shaft works. Studio Shaft, when they make animes, is less of character and is more about the environment. They build an atmosphere and the characters just revolve around it. And it creates this unique aesthetic. There is Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei 2. This one you didn't watch. I didn't watch it. I don't plan to watch, to be honest. It just doesn't look like it's for me, Marco. But this is just my honest opinion. But Studio Shaft, though, they're hit or miss at this point. Because I feel like their animation style is a bit outdated in terms of their approach to animes, quote-unquote. But I don't think it's a bad thing, though. I'm not saying that they should become irrelevant. I'm not saying that, but I think their style is very unique and it doesn't really need to change. But someday people will understand the masterpiece of Studio Shaft, because Studio Shaft is so... they're so intricate. It's like they're storytelling with the setting, not storytelling through characters. It's strange to put it that way because their characters do drive a lot of their atmosphere, but it just works. I don't understand. Like what Todd Howard said, it just works. I think one of the greatest examples is where's Mecha City Actors? Mecha City Actors is one great example. I actually love this universe. This anime came out in 2014 of spring. The animation style sucks at the time, until the Blu-ray came out. The Blu-ray fixed a lot of the animation issues, but I think this is a great example of developing atmosphere. Monogatari is definitely a great one. Where is the other one? Where's Madoka Magica at? The OG, not the spin-offs here, but well, Madoka Magica is another great example when it comes to atmosphere. like if you watch those 3 animes I just mentioned, you will understand that like there's a vibe they put on here. Like like they put the scenery as like this big foreground, and then your characters are like this, like a small portion of the setting, just walking by or strolling by. So in a way, it's kind of funny. It's like, I think the best way to explain their style is that the characters are basically tiny in this universe. Oh man, I love their style. It's just so unique. It's kind of like what to say, every anime studio has like their own unique takes on making animes. I totally agree with that. But there's really 2 anime studios that stand out no matter what, that I kind of figure that is them. One is Studio Shaft, and the other one is Studio Trigger. Because I'm not the big... Okay, this is going to be a very big hot take. So if you're an anime fan, embrace yourselves, because I'm going to say this. I am not really the biggest fan of Studio Trigger. A lot of their animes, in my personal opinion, are hit or miss. Studio Shaft was basically made for Monogatari series. I actually agree. I totally agree. But like, oh man, I can go on days just talking about anime studios. But it comes into question though, like do people even pay attention to anime studios anymore? I don't think a lot of people do, nor do a lot of people care. But I think the real question is, at the end of the day, do people even give credit to anime studios when it comes to them making your favorite animes? A lot of people don't. Like, I think one great example is that a lot of people say they like Demon Slayer, but they don't really credit Ufotable at all. Not to mention Ufotable is in debt still. But it just comes back to my point. Like, it comes back full circle, essentially. Like, oh my god. People... Like anime fans, they just take things for granted at this point. It's sad to say that, but it's kind of true, honestly, because you can't really, like, people are just too content or they just want anime, you know? But hey, we're getting way too sidetracked, but just saying though. But yeah, though, in terms of watching animes, though, I'm pretty much caught up with most of the popular animes for this season. But man, I am waiting for next season because this season is pretty much wrapping up, and we're going to get some bangers, man. I really want to see Tower of God season 2 because I heard of the big 3 manhwas, God of High School, Noblesse, and Tower of God. Tower of God is my favorite, because it's the one with the most interesting storytelling. I am not a big fan of God of High School. I know the animation, like the fighting animation choreography is cool, but the story goes absolutely... It is batshit crazy. That's the best way to put it. Like, I wouldn't even say in a good way. It's like Dragon Ball Z in martial arts, but there was no character development to any of the characters. Like, no offense to Jin Mori, because like he goes from like being this typical cool martial artist to literally becoming Son Goku. Like, if you read the manhwa of God of High School, you know what I'm talking about. But let me pull up the next anime season real quick. Hold up. Oh, there we go. So this right here is the current anime season, and I have a lot of opinions. So Oshinoko and Tower of God are the only 2 I'm going to watch no matter what. Period. Everything else, I'm just going to be on and off. People said Suicide Squad, the isekai here, is going to be good, since it's written by Teppei, aka the creator of Re:Zero. I'll probably give this one a shot. Fairytale 100 Year Quest, I'm not going to lie, I'm not really looking forward to this because I've already read the manga, so I know what happens. So I don't really see a need to actually watch this. And not to mention, this is by JC staff, so it's crazy how Fairytale went through like 3 different anime studios at this point. Like, this anime, like the animation style looks pretty good, but they keep... they keep dunking on these animation studios for Fairy Tail. It's like they can't find it at home, which is frustrating though. Wolf's Rain is amazing. That's one, John. That's one I forgot a long time ago. Wolf's Rain. I have to admit though, I watched mine in sub, not dub, so I don't know how the dub is, but I think the dub is pretty comparable. But yeah, though, the summer anime, there's really only two I would like to watch. Everything else is kind of bland to me. Yeah, I think everything else I'm just gonna watch sparingly or just gonna pass on it, guys. But really, these two here is the only ones I'm going to watch. And I'm gonna critique the crap out of Oshinoko Season 2. Because it's going into stage acting, and I just have to critique the crap out of this. So that's the only reason why I'm watching Oshinoko Season 2. I love Tower of God. I'm just gonna stick around for it. Okay, but everything else is up in the air though. I would like to know what everybody would like to watch this upcoming season for the summer of 2024. There's a lot of animes on here, but it's really hit or miss. One thing I have noticed is that there seems to be a rise of boys love and Yuri animes. I'm a big sucker when it comes to romance animes. I don't care what it is, but a lot of the romance animes have been hit or miss lately, and it's kind of frustrating because you know it is like it's my guilty pleasure genre to watch, and yet they can't pull it off right. What is Kabuto? Looks interesting. Kabuto is Tower of God. Tower of God is... See, here's the thing. I think it's better if you go into Tower of God kind of blind, because it's more questions than answers, and you just slowly build yourself up to get there. I think, see, look, if I'm being honest, if all the manhwas, the big manhwas, were released today, like Solo Leveling, Tower of God, God of High School, like every single manhwa and web manga out there. So whether it's, you know, Unordinary, whatever, if all of them released today, I think Tower of God will fall flat. But you have to remember, Tower of God came back, it came out a very, very, very long time ago. It came out over a decade ago. And during that time, there wasn't really good manhwas because a lot of the manhwas back then were bad. Like they were just written as somebody's power fantasy. So a lot of manhwas back then when they were made, the creators didn't really take account into the story and whatnot. They just wanted to write overpowered characters. So really a lot of them sucked. But Tower of God was one of those that actually was less about the action. There is action in Tower of God, but it was less about that and more so of the world building. That's what made it great. And that's also one of the... It's kind of like a complete contrast to God of High School. God of High School was the... Look, God of High School walked so everybody else could run. And that's the only thing I could say about God of High School. You can tell that there was... It's just crazy. It's just batshit crazy power level scaling. And even now, manhwas are getting better, but they're not great at storytelling. No disrespect to Solo Leveling. For those who read Solo Leveling, I'm just gonna say it as is. I'm not a big fan of Solo Leveling's ending. Well, for his last season. Like, see, the problem with a lot of manhwas is that they suck. In terms of storytelling, you can create the most amazing action sequences of all time, but if you cannot land the story's ending or land a proper conclusion to your final or your latest season, it's going to suck, man. And a lot of manhwas, as of now, they don't have that sauce in terms of writing. Yes, they have good action sequences, good artwork, and things of that nature, but it's really the story that falls flat. This is why very few of them actually are good, quote unquote. Season 3 is going to be fired up. Let's hope so. But I don't know, man. Like, I said I don't know because the future of manhwas is so uncertain at this point. It's really at a crossroads to where everybody is just throwing a bunch of random stories, and whatever sticks is going to stick. But if I could offer advice to every creator that is writing a manga, manhwa, or whatever, whether you're Korean, Japanese, Chinese, etc., I think the best way to write a story is to write the ending first and then work backwards towards the beginning. So that way you know that the ending is solid. Because I like when you're like see, here's the thing. When you're a writer, you have to get sales, or you have to get something eye-catching. So they'll write these amazing bangers as the start, and then as the story progresses, the story becomes flat, stale, or the power leveling just becomes out of this world. Like, no offense to God of High School, I keep using God of High School because I dislike where it ended up. But it's just so frustrating, man, to see like a bunch of these amazing artists and writers make these amazing like online mangas, manhwas, dongwas, and things of that nature, and then they screw it up because they want to create these overpowered characters, the power of plot. Oh God, I'm okay. I'm self-reflecting. I'm sorry, but it's just my personal experience reading them. My Own Day in Life of Immortal is great too. Haven't read that one yet. First time hearing about that one. But if it has a good story, I'll go check it out. But I swear, all I really want at this point from any manhwa is a good story that actually has a good conclusion. Because a lot of manhwas have terrible conclusions. Like, it just ends abruptly. Like, there's so many plot holes. Oh my god, now that you think about it. No disrespect to Noblies. I love Noblies, but that's one great example of, like, there are definitely plot holes going on around here. John, don't copy and paste comment. I'll watch the Shy anime season 2. The funny thing about Shy, I think Shy is kind of mediocre, but it's more so of like something you just watch as a pastime. I wouldn't necessarily say that anime is good. It's more of a pastime, whatever. Like a pastime, whatever. Look, I don't know what's the best way to put it. But my god, man. Anime for you, isn't it? Like, it's gone downhill a lot for a lot of these animes. Like, for example, I think My Hero Academia is pretty decent, but it lost a lot of momentum. They said, They said the manga is coming to a close or something like that, which is kind of disappointing because a lot of people didn't really like how it's ending in My Hero Academia's manga. So I might just go read the manga and spoil myself free because I don't know, man. Like, I remember when My Hero Academia came out, when it came to his manga, it came out in 2014. Yeah, it was 2014 because at the same time I was starting to read Sosei no Onyoji because yeah, that's right. My Hero Academia came out in 2014, so it's been a while. Dang, it's been that long since the manga came out. I'm getting old, but I can go. Man, I'm talking about history now. It's crazy. Like, I actually lived. Like, I lived when anime was around. Whew. I don't remember what Horikoshi wrote. I'm trying to remember. Because you have to remember, Horikoshi, before he written My Hero Academia, he was writing all of these one-shots. Like, all of these throw-at-the-wall stories, and a lot of them sucked. I'm surprised My Hero Academia stuck, though, because I actually read the one-shot for My Hero Academia. I thought it was just mediocre. Like, it was just your typical nonchalant storytelling of, like, your typical protagonist. And to see My Hero Academia get as far as it is now is just beyond me. Because you have to remember, when it came to the superhero genre in anime, there was a lot of them, but very few of them were good. I think the only good one was, I think the only good superhero anime, quote unquote, was the Concrete Revolution. That was an amazing series, by the way. Criminally underrated series by far. Great animation style. Opening is a banger. I love that. I love that series a lot. Remember when Bleach was supposed to end after the Rukia arc? Yes. Haite Kubo. This is kind of funny, but after the Soul Society arc of Bleach, like, I feel like Kubo had no idea what he was writing at that point. So he just written whatever came along. And I'm not gonna lie, I think the coolest creation of Bleach was the espadas. I love the Arankar, the espadas, and things of that nature. I thought that part was so cool. But when it actually came time to write the conclusion of Bleach, whew, he had no time to write it. Shonen Jump wanted to pretty much end the series as quickly as possible. So it was frustrating. So like the ending for Bleach was rushed and nobody was happy. But now that the 1,000-Year War arc is officially animated, I'm hoping they can actually do a proper conclusion to the way Kubo wanted it, because the manga, the anime, it could be saved, but we're just praying at this point. Like, we're literally praying. My next anime I'll watch is Frieren Dub. John, you're going to be in for an adventure. Frieren is an amazing anime, without question. It's funny how I call all the shots when it comes to like what animes are going to be talked about or good. Because I remember when I was making the anime news talking about Frieren and all these other animes before like they became trending. Like I can see good anime when I see them. People don't believe me, but I'm proof, man. Just go watch my Frieren video when I was talking about the anime being announced. It went back months before the anime came out, and I'm so proud of myself for that. I still do go back and watch that video as a matter of fact, just to say, I told you so, or I told myself so. It's pretty funny to say that, because a lot of YouTubers, they don't watch their own videos. I watch my own videos from time to time, just to get a good laugh out of myself. October 5th marked the 20th anniversary of Bleach. Yes, I'm super excited. I hope that for Bleach, for the 20th anniversary, what I'm actually hoping is that they either, one, do an anime remake without no fillers, because I hate Bleach's anime because of the fillers. And then two, I'm hoping that they actually release an official soundtrack or something of the sort. Because I think the soundtrack is a banger for Bleach. Did you watch some music anime like Symphogear? Symphogear, boy, now you're talking real nostalgia. So when it comes to Symphogear, I did not watch that series at all. I remember the anime when it came out, but it's just not for me. Music anime, it's really hit or miss. A lot of them are not good. Some of them are good, such as Love Life, Macross, what you call it? That other one, I forgot what it was. But music anime, usually it's hit or miss. Like, literally hit or miss. So, Symphogear, that's one I have not watched at all. Because it just does look like it's targeting... Like, it's not for me, personally. I know they have, like, 5 seasons, 6 seasons or more. It's crazy. I even remember when they released the first, anime PV way back when. It was, man, I feel old. It's like my viewers make me feel older than what I am when it comes to watching anime. Because, like, at this point, I'm literally anime historian 101. Excuse myself. Like, I've witnessed anime history. But in terms of music animes, though, I really don't watch them too often. Like, for example, the last 2 I watched, or the last few that I watched over the past 5 years, such as Tacked Up Destiny is one example. Listeners is another example. What is another one? I don't remember, but those are some examples of like music animes. I really didn't think they were that great, because like music animes nowadays are really hit or miss, and very rarely do good ones come by. I think one great one of recent times was in 2021 with Vivi Flores I's Song. That is an amazing series, by the way. Like, I still listen to the opening for that song. Yo, the Macross series is an amazing series. Period. It was one of the first animes that infused the idol like music stuff with actual cool mecha fights. Like, man, I really love it. I think the best Macross series, my personal favorite, is Macross. Dang, Sevens is a good one. I'm not gonna lie, Seven was pretty decent. And then Macross Delta was their latest one, which came out in 2016. I thought the music was good, but the story of the Macross series was not great. Like, the story for the Macross Delta was pretty bad, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. But I still do like the Macross series, though. Where's your favorite mecha anime? I actually have a... When it comes to mecha, I do like some Gundam series, such as Iron-Blooded Orphans. That one is good. I do like Code Geass. Code Geass is amazing. If you've never watched Code Geass and you hate mecha animes, watch Code Geass. You will definitely love mechas after that. Obviously, Macross is up there as well. I do like... Well, this anime is not a mecha genre anime, but it does have a bit of mecha in it, which is Recreators. And I think another great mecha anime. I know that people like to talk about Anoa Zero, but I think that anime is kind of okay. I feel like Hiroyuki Sawano, when he written the music for that track, it pretty much carried that entire mecha series. But that, I'm not gonna lie though, it's pretty darn solid. If you never watched Anoa Zero, watch it. That'd be like, that one and Code Geass is like my entry level for mecha. Because the music in it is good, and it's like nostalgic for me. But that's just me personally though, when it comes to mecha animes. Now I know some people don't like mecha animes, that's fine. Because everybody has their own genres they like or dislike. But really, I think, Gurren Lagann is also a good mecha anime as well, I guess. But I feel like the plot kind of becomes messy towards the end. Towards the third act, actually. But I still think Gurren Lagann is another great example of a good mecha anime, I guess. But when it comes to just pure mecha genre, it's really hit or miss nowadays because of the use of CGI. I know a lot of people hate CGI in animes, which honestly is understandable because it hurts a lot of the animation. Like, for example, Heavy Object. Heavy Object, in my opinion, is an amazing light novel. It is a mecha anime, by the way. And the anime itself, it's like, take it or leave it. But it's still a good series, though, without a doubt, in my personal opinion. Because, like, see, I want to recommend a bunch of mecha animes from time to time, but you have to remember, the CGI kind of takes out of the aesthetic. So you're like, ah, crap, do I really want to watch a CGI fight, or do I want to watch something that has actual fluid animation? You know, you're kind of like, eh. This is one of the reasons why I really love Code Geass, is because it has one of the most fluid mecha anime fights out there. Even Gintama's good mech. And Gintama is a parody anime. Okay, let's get that straight. But I love Gintama though. I still think Gintoki is one of the greatest dads out there when it comes to anime. Like, just saying. You don't have to agree with me on that, but I really do think that Gintoki is one of the greatest anime dads. And I know Father's Day was just fairly recently, but definitely have Gintama, like Gintoki up there though, as one of the greatest dads. And Lloyd Forager as well from Spy Family. And also, I forgot what's his name from Fullmetal Alchemist before he died, but him as well. There's some good anime dads out there. But Gintama though, not mecha. Definitely not a mecha anime. But it's just so surprising how like anime has changed so much. Because have you watched the Moriarty, the Patriot OVA? Yes, I have. So, Moriarty the Patriot, I think the OVA is fine. But like, it's kind of like you kind of had to take it for what it is to enjoy it. I did enjoy my time with watching the OVA from Moriarty the Patriot, but at the same time, like it's not really needed. You can just watch the first 2 seasons and be satisfied. But I still do think it's good though, John. Marco's like, I love Sugita. Yes. He's actually going to be voicing in that one. Dang. See, there's so much anime coming out. It is mesmerizing with my head. Yeah, Tomohito Sugita. Tomo something Sugita. He's an amazing voice actor, by the way. I keep telling people, and I'll say it again actually, when it comes to my voice acting work, I want to get my Tarantula business going first, and then I get more serious into voice acting.
But until then, it's going to have to wait. So, calm down. I'm not in a hurry, so, yeah.
Just relax, everybody. I'll get serious into voice acting, like literally serious, once I get my Tarantula business started. Like, the moment I get it, I said this so many times, I'm gonna say it again. I will get my voice acting I will get my voice acting career going once I actually start my Tarantula business, because I feel like when it comes to my priorities, my Tarantulas is more important, so that has to come first, and then the voice acting comes later. But I'm still practicing acting though, guys, and I'm still training, which is why I gotta start training today, basically, or tomorrow, that is. And it's gonna be rough. I'm already sweating, by the way, so it's hot. But I'm serious about it though. I pray that one day I'll get my shot into voice acting. I know that people think it's a delusional dream, which it kind of is, to be honest, but I really, like, I'm not just some guy who just likes to... So here's the thing, I want people to understand about my voice acting. I want to do voice acting not because, like, I can do cool voices and things of that nature. I want to get into voice acting because I really like acting. Like, I'm a stage actor, obviously. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to explain. You can't just do things because you're good at it. You have to love what you do, you know? And look, I'm a big fan of voice actors. I'm a big fan of animes. I know a lot about animes. And I'm an actor. Like, of course, voice acting hits all of those at once. That's why I'm going for it, baby. Are you surprised that when Lewis have amps? I am. I was not surprised at all, because believe it or not, there's actually like a body pillow, a Darumaka, quote unquote, Darumaki, my bad, and they have abs on it. I was like, oh yep, I figured already. What do you think about the TBA list? Honestly, at this point, like, like, you just kind of... This is kind of hard to say, but when it comes to the TBA list, basically to be aired list, like, it's up in airs. Because look at, what you call it? There are so many animes that are stuck on this list. It's just crazy and sad to see. Like, is it worth talking about for these animes? Because they've been stuck for so long that, like, people forgot about them. Like, seriously. Hold up. My throat's cutting out. Like, for example, One Punch Man Season 3. This was leaked last year. Like, over a year ago. And still we have nothing. Like, Tanya Season 3, or Season 2, my bad. They announced this about, like, a very long time ago. So long ago. Nothing. Like, Fire Force Season 3. Nothing. It's been, like, 2-3 years since the last season. Like, it's just, like, at this point, do we even care? Or do the anime studios even care? Like, I would love to see, new seasons for these animes. But my god, do they not do anything with them. Look at Hell's Paradise Season 2. They literally announced this when Season 1 ended. That was about 2 years ago now, I think. And, like, nothing. I'm not mad, but I'm just so frustrated because, like, what's the point of anime studios announcing another season of an anime that they may not ever get? And by the time they actually do release it, everyone forgot about it. I think one of the greatest examples is Overlord, but, like, I'm just so tired of anime studios announcing animes. Like, it's just frustrating because you know that anime studios usually announce another season just to build up hype so people don't lose hope. But then they never do anything with that property to where people lose hope. So, like, there is a lose-lose situation. Like, oh my god, why? Why? I'm not wrong because, like, I've seen this happen so many times already with, like, so many animes over the years. Like, seriously, To Your Eternity Season 3 is it's just so crazy. Dr. Stone Season 4. Like, I would love to see, like, new seasons of all of these animes here. And they just don't want to do anything with them. And trust me, people are going to forget the majority of these animes. And by the time Season 2 rolls out, or the anime seasons actually rolls out, that they hyped years back, everyone is going to forget about them. July 6th will mark the 5th anniversary of Fire Force animes. Yes, I'm super hyped. Green Apple, I think that's the band that sings the anime opening for Fire Force Season 1. That anime opening is a banger. Like, it is really good in my personal opinion. And you know what's so funny though? Green Apple, the band that sang the first season's opening, they actually got one of the most recent music videos deleted off of YouTube because it was considered racist. Like, oh man, it was just crazy. I mean, Kumo Bear had 3 seasons, and some more popular don't even have Season 2. You've underestimated Kuma Bear, Marco. It has over 17 volumes. 19 volumes, I believe now. Maybe 20, 21. You can't forget, Marco. Kuma Bear is an extremely popular light novel. If you have over 8 volumes, my bad, of any light novels, you pretty much have a popular or a relatively good light novel series that has traction. But to have over about 20 volumes, like, Kuma Bear is not to be messed with. Because people forget, even though the anime may not be popular, the source material is. Like if I'm being frank about it, so I wouldn't really say that Kuma Bear is not a popular series. It is a popular series in my personal opinion here. I mean, like, very few light novels will have over 20 volumes. Very few. Almost none of them do. I mean, you're literally getting to series like Sword Art Online levels and the irregular at Magic High School levels. Which is crazy to say. Like, oh man. I feel like you can judge the anime for not being popular, but you can't deny the source material. Like, So I wouldn't really say that though. But I think a lot of problems with these popular animes not getting another season is the fact that the anime studios themselves are way too focused on other projects. So it's just really frustrating. So basically, my personal reason, not my personal reason, my guessing is that the reason why they announced these new seasons or announced these animes from these studios is to make sure that people don't license the animes or take it from them. So that way they own the animation, quote unquote. Just saying though, because you have to understand when an anime gets announced, it's made by that anime studio. But at times, the anime series can move from one studio to another. So the way I think, if I had to be like a business person, because you gotta remember, anime is business after all. I think what these anime studios are doing is trying to get the licensing rights for these animes or these series to make the animes. So that way, like, other anime studios don't take those popular light novel series, manga series, and that kind of stuff. Which will make sense if you come into my logic, it makes sense, like, as a business perspective. Which would probably explain why, like, there's no second or third seasons for all of these animes. Because it's just the way I see it, I guess. But who knows when these animes will air, because it's anyone's game. It's kind of funny. How long ago? I think it was last year or a year or two ago, when I was still live streaming with bad internet. I talked about when will Overlord get a new season, and then they announced a movie like a very long time later. And once that movie comes out, though, I promise you, I think they're going to announce the next season of Overlord. That's my guessing, because Overlord did that last time. They keep doing Overlord. Always do that. They make a season, release a movie, and that movie at the end of that movie, they hype the next season. They did that every single time. Watch, Overlord, the next season is going to happen. I can just see it. But I'm not gonna lie though, I love Overlord's anime, but it is flawed. But it's still good though. Now the real question is, when will these get an anime? And the honest truth is that I'd say almost never. Like, to be frank, I'd say 3 years down the line, most of these will be an anime. Minimum 3 years. Because here's how anime studios work. They get the property rights to make the anime, and then they put it into the roster, and then it sits there and waits because they got to make the other animes they're currently working on for their current anime seasons and things they already pretty much got the rights for earlier on. And it's just kind of like, okay, like why announce an anime? Just get the. I think here's my bit. If I was the president of an anime studio, which would never happen, but if I was, here's what I would have done. I would actually get the animation rights to a series that is popular, which is normal, just like all of these here. Just saying. But what I would do is to not announce an anime adaptation. Instead, I'm going to be advertising the source material. So if I was a president of an anime studio and I got the rights to this amazing light novel that's super popular, I would be advertising the light novel and the manga to the ground. Like, I'll push it as much as I can, so that way I can actually, like, not milk the series, but like get the series trending. And I've seen this before. They did this exactly with their regular Magic High School, and they did this with Sword Art Online, and they did this with Hack, but Hack was a game actually. But that's what I would have done. They kind of did that with Steins Gate too, but not really. But that's what I would have done. And then once it becomes trending enough, like there's enough traction, then instead of like announcing an anime adaptation, feed the audience with a little bit of a teaser, like a secret promotional trailer, like how they did for Tokyo Ghoul Re. like they did a minor manga panel teaser, but it was an anime announcement. I would have done that. And what this would do is it'll build hype. Like people will start like wanting to know like what they're announcing, what are they doing, and then once it's within about a year's range before the release, then announce the anime. That's what I would have done, and then it will create the most insane hype of all time. Because like, God, that is my approach. It has worked tremendously before, but I think the reason why anime studios are not doing it is because, let's be honest, anime fans nowadays are more of consumers than actual fans. Basically, we just want animes. Like, to be fair, that's valid, but at the same time though, don't get me wrong, like animes back then, they never announced anything until last second, which that's not my approach, but this is the problem with anime nowadays. They just announce it for like instant hype and instant die-off. So when the anime does come back around, all the hype that was there back then is gone because it took so long for like the latest season to come out. Like, I promise you, if Solo Leveling Season 2 comes out in like the next 3 years or 2 years, it's going to be so much time since the first season that everybody's going to lose hope. As a matter of fact, Solo Leveling, let me scroll down a little bit. Solo Leveling here, okay guys, the first season that was on Blu-ray only sold 91 copies. You heard that right. It sold less than 100 physical copies. Solo Leveling Season 1 was a flop. Period. This anime is dead on arrival. If Season 2 does happen, I just cannot see it happening. And it's crazy to say that it only sold to 91. Now granted, the number 91 copies was from his first week as Blu-ray. So within 7 days of his Blu-ray being released, 91 copies sold only. That is so little. That is sad. Like, beyond sad. So, that is instant loss. So, I really do think that Solo Leveling is an anime dead on arrival. You can't change my mind on that. Like, and not to mention, people did say the manga does go downhill, which I agree to. So, I feel bad for Solo Leveling because they announced Season 2, but it doesn't look too bright for the future. 2 more weeks to the 10th anniversary of Tokyo Ghoul anime. You know what I think is going to happen, John? For Tokyo Ghoul's 10th anniversary, they should release the official soundtrack for all the OSTs for Tokyo Ghoul. If they did that, I'm sold. Think about it. You have Glassy Sky, you have Unravel, you have Seasons Die one after another. Like, you will have the most hype soundtrack of anime of all time if Tokyo Ghoul did that for the 10th anniversary. Release an official soundtrack. I don't care if it's digital or physical, but if they did it, I would have. I'm saying that's money right there. Hello there, Hassan. We're just talking about animes, second seasons, and things of that nature. But I'm not really the marketing guy to go to per se when it comes to anime stuff. But I typically know what consumers want because I'm like the oldest anime fan out there. I'm an anime historian. I've seen the sales. Like, it's just crazy to say, like, how anime has changed so much and flopped here and there. But I will be the greatest PR guy of all time. Like, when it comes to anime, I know exactly what I want. But you know how I can become one just to help. Hassan, you're fine. In terms of moderators, I really don't need any more because I think one is fine because our chat is not that big. Like, my audience, so on average, for those who are wondering, my chat average is 10 people. So 10 to 15 people. So that's usually what I get in terms of my overall average of viewers that comes into my streams. And honestly, if it's just that number, it's not a lot. I can manage 15 to 20 people. Now, the moment we start hitting 50 people or more, I will add more moderators us on. But as of now, we're fine. Because I can just manually do it myself. But if this channel does grow bigger on the live streams, I will get more moderators. But we're fine though. Like John alone he's more than plenty. He's an amazing moderator. Sometimes I wish I could pay John, but I can't because, oh man, I'm just so struggling right now trying to start my business. But back to what I'm saying though, like, I am the greatest PR guy, like, when it comes to anime. I know exactly how to tease people. Because I know so much about animes. Like, God, man. I dream that one day I will actually dub an anime as a voice actor. And when I do, I'm going to be the greatest anime English dub voice actor promotional guy out there. Oh, I can see a future like of me voicing an anime character and just doing the most insane. Oh man, I know exactly what I'm gonna do actually now. Mark my words, if I ever voice any anime characters or any character in the future for any series, I don't care if it's an anime or not, I'm going to go history 101 because I love talking about the things I do. I'm just that good. I'm sorry guys, I'm getting sidetracked, but I just really love talking about anime at times because I feel like I'm so close to someday, like, I feel very close to the point where, like, someday I know I can voice an anime character. Like, the question is when, you know? Because you see all these amazing voice actors and actresses like Amy Lowe, you know, Linda Young, you know, Yuri Lowenthal, all these, you know, Veronica Taylor, all these amazing voice actors, things of that nature. And I feel like I'm so close, like, but I'm still so far away. So far, but so close at the same time. But I hope someday I can actually meet my idols, though. I'm going to be pumping my hands up in the air. And I'm going to be saying, yeah, baby. But back to what I'm saying, though. Sorry, we're getting sidetracked with these animes here. So the topic was animes not getting new seasons. I'm not surprised at this point. Because, like, oh my god, some of these are hold up. Look at this list real quick. I just saw some animes I just couldn't believe. Oh, wow. No way. Yup, these animes are never coming. I can just say that with confidence. Not for a very long time. Like, seriously. You see the problem? If I was president, I wouldn't, like, of an anime studio, I would know exactly how to advertise these animes and these series. Because you have all of these amazing series, and they're just sitting collecting dust. Like, why? Like, oh my gosh. Anyone remember when One Punch Man Season 3 was leaked? And everybody was thinking that it was by Studio Madhouse. And it turns out to be JC Staff, and the hype died instantly because of that. I think of all of these animes here that is on this list, the only one that is actually worth waiting for, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, is this one up here, Uzumaki. Uzumaki is an amazing drama horror series, but I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the ending is not the most satisfying. It's very split on the ending, but I really think the aesthetic of this anime here and the animation style is a 10 out of 10. Like, I truly do think that Uzumaki is special. But that's just me, though. I don't want to be too biased now. But I can talk about... but look, I can go on for days talking about these other animes here. And how, like, some of these will never get a second season. Spy Family will, though. I love Spy Family. Like, this without a doubt has the money and the hype for a new season. So I'm expecting this one no matter what. Everything else here, hiatus list. Like, I think that's the best way to put it. I would not even say it's never coming. It's on hiatus, indefinite hiatus, until they actually decide to commit to it. Like the vending machine isekai season 2, that was not going to happen for a long time. Hanako season 2, not going to happen for an extremely long time. I love Hanako-kun, but oh my god. Season 2, please, just come. Oh man. I love the OST, Tiny Lights. It is such an amazing OST. It's almost 7 o'clock already. Oh wow, time flies by so fast. Okay, we need to jump back here, guys. Alrighty, guys. So it is approaching 7 o'clock, so it is 7 p.m. here where I am. So I do got to get going in a little bit. But yeah, without further ado, I truly want to thank everybody for stopping by on this live stream, because like this channel is growing so fast. It's crazy because I can't keep up with all of my subscribers at this point. But I do hope that you guys all stick around, and we are approaching 1,000 days of 25, which is going to be the most crazy part. But I do gotta get going now, and yeah, without further ado, everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next live stream, which is probably sometime next week. I'll post it either here or on Discord. And with that, that's really about it. What should I say?